Hey guys, EchoFox Theo here, back with another Injustice 2 tutorial. And in this tutorial, what I want to do is I just want to go over a lot of situations that, I see a lot of players make common mistakes in. Like basically a lot of things that I see all the time, which I feel like aren't the optimal way to approach certain situations, or they're basically situations that I see a lot of players don't punish or expose properly. And this basically goes across a lot of levels. I see it a lot at, lower levels, mid levels, high levels. Even I do a lot of these mistakes a lot myself. So in a way, I'm kind of exposing myself in a lot of these situations. So yeah, let's get right into it without further ado. So the first thing that I see a lot of players, do a lot, or a lot of players abuse a lot, is I see a lot of players when they're in a situation where there's a background bounce. Let me set my AI on block. And what a lot of players do is they just kind of do down one into background bounce like randomly. Like they don't really do it as like a punish. They don't really do it as like reading a forward dash. They kind of just like do it for no reason whatsoever because they just want to get that background bounce in and just take the risk and get all the damage that they could. Now, sometimes this is good. Sometimes, like, if you want to make that read, you want to make that hard read, you want to do your 6-frame poke into a background bounce and just get all the damage you can, fine. Once in a while, just go for it. But I just feel like I see a lot of players just in neutral situations, like, just kind of do this for no reason whatsoever. And, like, let's say they'll do it, you block it, and then they'll just do it again because they'll see that, oh, you can't punish it. Now, the first thing that I want to go over with you guys is make sure you're always punishing these attempts on background bounces. And let me record Wonder Woman do it just to show you guys that it is in fact very punishable. Whoops, that is not what I wanted. Alright, so what I did there was I made Wonder Woman do down one into background bounce on block, and then I made her immediately block afterwards just to show you guys that we can punish it. Whoops. See? Notice how it said punish there. Now, I'm speaking on both ends of the spectrum here. To players that love doing down one into background bounce in neutral. If you want to do it sometimes, do it. But make sure you're either doing it, 1, as a punish, 2, if you're trying to react to like a forward dash, or 3, if once in a million you're a maniac and you want to try to do it. But I just see a lot of players kind of do this for no reason whatsoever in neutral, just because they want to try to cash in. A lot of like players that I play with a lot too. I just feel like I blow them up too much on doing this a lot. And yeah, I just want to say, like, be mindful in situations like that and don't abuse it, so much, because in a tournament situation you are going to get punished hard for it. And to other players, make sure, like I showed you guys, you're always punishing this stuff, because background bounces lead to a lot of damage. So a lot of players are going to be tempted to do it. So you guys are liable for always trying to punish that. Now, the second thing that I see a lot of players get abused by is, like, when there's block strings that leave the opponent at kind of plus, like +1, +2, etc., etc. I feel like a lot of people don't study, like, those little gaps that you can, backdash those strings. And let me give you guys another example of this. So let me make myself Wonder Woman. Whoops, there we go. Control player 2. So Wonder Woman has this string. I think it's her 113. Yeah, her 113 string is a jab jab into an overhead. Now, one thing some people might not know is that this string is +2 on block. So what that basically means is when Wonder Woman does this string, let me set Superman to block. When Wonder Woman does this string, she's left at an advantageous situation. She's left at +2, which means that if she decides that she wants to go for a down 1 afterwards, which is 6 frames, it's going to be more or less guaranteed, unless you do something like a super afterwards, or, something with fast armor. Now, you might be thinking, wow, that's insanely strong. So does that mean, like, as soon as she does this string, like, I'm left in a plus situation, I'm screwed? Well, not necessarily. And let me show you guys something that a lot of players, like, need to study. When you see a string like that that feels too good to be true, you need to make sure to always study every single hole in that string. Is there a hole where I can meter burn back 3 it? Is there a hole where I can backdash it? Like, you know, what's going on here? So check this out. I'm going to do the string again, and what I did was I made Superman, like, basically backdash at a little gap in it. So let me show you guys. Whoops, did I make him do that? Nope, I didn't. There we go. So check this out. See that? Notice how the part that's going to leave Wonder Woman at plus, it leaves like a little bit of a gap for Superman to backdash. And it's consistent. It's going to happen all the time. So let's just see if that works in the corner too, just to make sure that it's guaranteed in the corner. Reset position, left. See, even in the corner, Superman is safe. Like, the invincibility frames protect him from that part. Now, one thing that I do want to clarify is make sure that your specific character is able to do this as well, because some characters who have a really, really slow or just a really, really bad backdash, they might get hit by that part in the corner. So just make sure, if you suspect that your character has a bad backdash, just to emulate the situation that I'm showing you. Now, this begs the question, is backdash the only thing that we can do against that string? Well, let's find out. So let's make myself Superman real quick. And let me set the reset position to the center. And let me record Wonder Woman do that string again. Now, as we established, we can backdash afterwards, but let's see if we can take that a step further. Can we poke afterwards? Like, can we do a down 1? No, it seems like we can't. We can't do a down 1, can't do a down 2. Can we super? Yeah, we can super. And that's like kind of a general rule of thumb that if you're able to backdash in between the gap of a string, 99.999% of the time, and I would probably even say 100% of the time, you can probably super afterwards too. So just, you know, keep that in the back of your mind in clutch situations. Okay, so we can backdash and we can super, but we can't down 1. So what's something that's kind of like in between a down 1 and a super? There's meter burn back 3. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see. And this is basically like me trying to lab this with you guys too. Ah, so it seems like we can. Notice how, like, when I did it there, see? Looks like we can. So notice how when I did it there, it took me quite a few tries, but, I mean, eventually you'll get it. So basically what that shows is that that gap in between that, like, 1-1-3 string gets so tight that if you do decide to do a meter burn back 3 afterwards, like, you need to be, like, frame perfect on it. So as you can see, you can backdash it, you can super it, and if you're frame perfect, you can meter burn back 3 it. And that's pretty important because that means, like, in those clutch situations where, you know, you don't have enough meter to do a super, but you have like 1 or 2 bars of meter. Like, you being able to practice being able to meter burn back 3 that in a clutch situation could equal you winning, you know, a really important tournament match. So, yeah, in short, like, I don't see a lot of players, you know, study really important gaps in, like, really, really good strings. Let me show you guys another example. With Wonder Woman, since I think she's really good, like, for the purpose of this tutorial. I'm going to record her do another string. So Wonder Woman has this 2-2-3 string, and this string is, like, really, 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 really plus on block. Like, I think it's, like, +8 or something. I could be wrong, but it's somewhere around there. So she's plus on, like, the last hit. So, I mean, that seems too good to be true, doesn't it? Like, a string that's so easy to do, like, she's plus, like, is there no holes whatsoever? Well, let's find out. Ah, you can backdash. Ah, you can meter burn back 3. And notice how, like, me meter burn back 3ing that is a lot easier than me meter burn back 3ing the 1-1-3 string. Because you know how the 1-1-3 string took me like 10 tries? This took me like 1 try. So does that mean you can poke in between that if it's so easy? Let's find out. Whoa, you can poke afterwards too. So, yeah. It just goes to show that, you know, since this string is a lot more plus than that string, it just felt more likely that it would have like that kind of, you know, gap or hole afterwards. Whoops. Like, see, it's not too tough to do, like, if you put in the time to practice it. Let me just show you guys one more example of like this common mistake that I see. One character who has a really good string that's really abusable against characters with 7-frame pokes. Let me show it with Green Lantern. Is Black Adam. So Black Adam has this 2-2-3 string, and his 2-2-3 string is neutral on block. Now, it's neutral on block, and Black Adam has a 6-frame poke. Green Lantern's fastest normal is 7 frames. So what that means is if Black Adam does 2-2-3, let me record it for you guys. If Black Adam does 2-2-3, and then he does a down 1 afterwards. Now, I didn't do it well there. Black Adam does 2-2-3, and then a down 1. On paper, Green Lantern shouldn't be able to do a down 1 after his 2-2-3. So let me basically try to explain that to you guys a little more clear. So Green Lantern's down 1 is 7 frames. Black Adam's down 1 is 6 frames. If there's a situation that leaves both of them neutral, which means both of them at a 0 on block situation, if Black Adam does a down 1, his down 1 is always going to be Green Lantern's down 1. So Black Adam's 2-2-3 string right here, that's neutral. And Black Adam does a down 1 afterwards. I attempted a down 1 too. Black Adams is always going to beat me in that situation. So naturally, now we're thinking, well, wait, like, if I'm a character with a 7-frame down 1 against that string, am I just screwed? Do I always have to respect that down 1 afterwards? Again, let's find out. Kind of like how I did with Wonder Woman's 2 strings. We're going to find out if there's gaps in that situation. So, let's see. Well, I can't meter burn back 3 it from what it seems like. Oh, looks like I can. Never mind. It looks like I just did. Wow, I didn't even know, like, in the making of this video that string is meter burn back 3able. Yeah, it is. Even it says punish. Well, I just learned something new from my own video. Okay. So, you can meter burn back 3 it. And you can backdash it. Can you down 1 it? You can't. So, I feel like I see a lot of people just kind of, like, pressure themselves by not, like, doing those answers in that string, and they don't, like, basically study, like, those little gaps that they can expose like I just did there. So, yeah, that's another common mistake that I see a lot of players do. I feel like they don't, like, take those strings that keep on exposing them, and they don't, like, break those strings down one by one just to see if you can meter burn back 3 it, if you can down 1 it, if you can backdash it. So, I'd say, like, if there's a string that your friend or your opponent that does a lot, which, you know, like really annoys you because it's either plus or it leaves at a situation where you don't have a clear turn, you know, do what we did in this, like, video and just, like, try to see, like, what gaps are there in that string that you can expose. And that's basically my second example of things that so many players, you know, don't expose. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about is, and this goes out to, you know, a lot of people that play zoning characters. And even if they don't, like, I still think everyone should learn how to do it. I feel like a lot of players don't make reads on their opponent doing meter burn roll, or they don't attempt to punish meter burn rolls. Because when you play a zoning character, one of the ways, or one of the most common ways that people will try to get in on you is they'll try to, you know, meter burn roll their way in, you know, because meter burn rolls have this, like, phase where they go through, like, projectiles. They're invincible in that situation. So when you think that something is invincible in those situations, you'd probably assume that you can't punish it, or there's no window of opportunity to punish it. Well, that's not really the case for meter burn rolls. I feel like with a lot of people, let me record Dr. Fate doing a meter burn roll real quick. I feel like with a lot of people, like, they don't basically, like, stop for a second to try to, like, you know, read their opponent doing rolls. I feel like when their opponent does rolls, like, it basically kind of, like, a lot of players just accept that they did it and try to work from there. So you're just like, oh, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. You know, well, Dr. Fate has a really bad meter burn roll, but, you know, let me try to see if I can, you know, like, oh, he's in and I'm about to get punished. But, like, they don't kind of take a time, like, they don't take a second to basically try to, like, think to themselves, oh, like, you know, why don't I just, like, sit here for a second, see if my opponent does it, and basically try to punish it with either, like, a throw or, you know, like a 4-2-3 on its recovery frames. Like that. You know? I feel like a lot of people just, like, don't take the time to try to, you know, see what their options are in punishing this tool, you know? Because I feel like when I play Superman, what a lot of people do is, like, if they're really, really close to dying, or they're just, like, you know, in a scramble situation, they'll try to do, like, a random, like, roll against me to try to, like, make a read on me doing a laser to try to close out a match. But, like, usually what I try to do in those situations is like, if I read that they're about to do that, I kind of just, like, you know, stand there for a second, just wait for them to do it, and either to, like, throw them afterwards, or, like, 4-2-3 them afterwards. Or, like, another thing I'll do with Superman is I'll jump back. So, like, when I jump back, the opponent will be like, oh, he's about to do a laser. But I'm just like, 1 second. I'm just like, nope, I'm not about to do a laser, you know? I do, like, an empty jump to fake out the laser, and then I just throw them afterwards. Yeah, I feel like that's just one thing that, you know, I see a lot of people, you know, not take the time to, you know, expose, basically. And, you know, the one thing, like, the most, you know, rudimentary thing to me that I see a lot of people don't do a lot. And you know what? I'm going to use Scarecrow as this example, since I feel like he's a character which, like, a lot of people need to do this against more. One thing that I see a lot of people, you know, not do is they don't push block in situations which I feel like they should push block. And here is a primary example of that. Whoops. What was that move? This one. So Scarecrow has this move, which is his down back 2. A lot of us players call it the EX wave, or there's another move, Fear Gas or whatever. This move is +6. So Scarecrow is mad plus afterwards. So a lot of Scarecrows, like, they'll do this move, and then they'll just, like, orchestrate their offense afterwards. They'll do a command grab, they'll do a down 1, they'll just do everything. A lot of players, high level, mid level, low level, me in a lot of situations, what I don't do is I don't push block a lot in these situations. A lot of players, like, they'll just basically, like, take the mix-up afterwards, and they'll lose a lot of health from it. So, like, guys, come on. In a lot of situations where your opponent is plus, or your opponent has a really messed up game afterwards, please push block afterwards. It leaves you at such a good situation. It keeps you at this range where you can zone out your opponent or play neutral with them again. Let me take this even further. Something that I see a lot of players not do, let me reset the position to the left, is a lot of people don't meter burn roll out of the corner to get themselves out of an effed up situation in the corner. Let me show you guys an example. So if I have 2 bars and Scarecrow is about to do his +6 move into some mad pressure afterwards, here's what I do. Bam, bam, we out of there. 1 for push block, 1 for roll. We are out of there. I say if you have 2 bars, it is 100% worth it to do this, because you just escaped a situation where you could have died really, really easily. You're out of the corner. Your opponent has to chase you again. It's 100% worth it. Now, don't get too predictable in doing that. Like, I say, you know, always attempt to push block in situations which you should. But, like, if you make it a habit that you're always going to meter burn roll, you know, a lot of smart opponents will try to make a read on that. So just don't get too predictable with it. Like, they might try to, like, wait for you to meter burn roll, then whiff punish it. But I'd say, like, if you're really smart about it, you know, a lot of players, including myself, probably just won't expect you to do that. So it's just so valuable. Like, against characters like Superman, Scarecrow, who else has a really good corner game? Black Adam. I'd say, like, Flash, especially. Like, these characters, it's just so worthwhile to try to, you know, roll out of the corner and just, like, escape those really effed up situations. So, like, I need to see you guys do that a lot more. Like, whether you're a zoner or not, it's always in your best interest to try to get out of the corner. And I think, like, that way is one of the safest ways to do it. Now, I mean, you can just like keep it more conservative and try to jump out of the corner, but the thing is, like, if you jump out of the corner and your opponent like kind of expects it in the back of their mind, they'll just like anti-air you for your troubles. Or like if they're doing pressure with like a really really like tight like frames in it, they might like blow up your jump in the middle of that pressure. Like let me give you guys an example of this. Whoops, I did the wrong move. So here's an example. I tried to jump out of this corner after the plus situation. I'm just like, oh shit, Scarecrow's plus. Let me try to jump out afterwards. But like he's so plus that it just poked me out of my jump in. And, you know, like really really, you know, smart Scarecrows like White Boy, Beyond Toxin, like once they see that they caught you with that down one, they'll just like do a full combo afterwards. They'll just like down one, down one, down one, down one, 1, 2, 3 command grab. Like I can't do it, but like when you see them make that read, you'll see what I'm talking about. So instead, do this. Oh shit, +6, we're gonna push block out of there. And then if you have the extra bar meter, either roll out of there, or if you're smart, like try to jump out in a very non-predictable and, you know, just safe fashion. But I say rolling out is the more safer way. So yeah, those are just 4 situations, or just a couple of situations that I feel like a lot of players don't optimize a lot, or a lot of players just don't make the most out of. So, you know, just take all these situations that I showed you guys, just lab them to the best of your abilities, and I hope this guide, you know, helps you guys out throughout your journey in leveling up in Injustice. If you guys haven't already, you know, a subscribe to my YouTube channel and a like and a subscribe would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all have an awesome day.